Hi, Sabrina here with another tutorial for you, and this is going to be the Despicable Me character. This is a little yellow guy that has like these goggles on over his eyeball, and it's so adorable. This movie is so cute. So here's the beanie. I've gone ahead and made a single crochet beanie, which the tutorial is right below. If you click on it, you can find it. This is going to be for a child size, so click on that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add ear flaps to this. The ear flaps are very, very simple to do. All we're going to be needing is some crochet markers, a 5.5 millimeter hook. We're going to be needing some black yarn, red, gray, and brown. These are the basic colors that we're going to be using for this project. Yellow for the beanie because the character is in yellow, and of course I'm going to be using blue as well. So I'm going to be using this bright blue here. And that's going to be for like the overalls the little guy is wearing. I'm just going to use it as a borderline here just to give it a unique little coloring thing going on here. So these are the basics we're going to be using. You are going to be needing a tempest needle to sew in your ends. And that's pretty much it. Let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to mark each corner. You're going to lay your beanie as flat as down as possible, just like the way I have here. You're going to mark one side and you're going to mark the other side. And what you're going to do with this is mark this side. Okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to make ear flaps. And I have some yellow yarn here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, what we're going to do here is we're going to count back 6. So right here you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. Put your hook right into that stitch. Take your yarn, put it right over the hook, and feed it right through the loop. Now we're going to chain up 1, so you're going to wrap the yarn over your hook and pull through. We're going to single crochet all the way across to 12. So this is counted as 1. We're going to move to the next stitch. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, take that marker out, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now what we're going to do is just turn your work around. You're going to take your string, your yarn, and put it behind the hook. You're going to skip the first stitch, move along to the second stitch, and single crochet. And we're just going to single crochet all the way across. So just single crochet all the way across. And that little pum pum pum, that's my little one in the other room. Okay, so now we single crocheted all the way across. Turn your work around, put the yarn behind the hook just like so. And we're going to skip the first stitch, move along to the second one, single crochet into that stitch, and we're going to single crochet all the way across. Every time we skip that one, we're decreasing by 1, and this starts slowly graduating, going up like a pyramid, like a triangle, by just skipping that 1. And we're going to continue doing that through the whole thing all the way to the very end. Now that we single crocheted all the way to the end, you're going to turn your work around, skip the first one, move to the second one, and single crochet. Single crochet all the way across. Turn your work around, put the yarn behind the hook, skip the first one, move to the second one, and single crochet. Now single crochet all the way across. Turn your work around, skip the first one, move to the second one, and single crochet. And we're going to single crochet all the way across. Turn your work around, skip the first one, move to the second one, single crochet, and single crochet all the way across. Turn your work around, put this yarn behind the hook, skip the first stitch, move to the second, single crochet, and single crochet across. Okay, this is our last one. We're turning our work around, skipping the first one, moving to the second stitch, single crochet, and single crochet in the next two. You should have 3 stitches on the very top. That's how you know you got it right. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to fasten off, so just cut your yarn from here. And what I like to do is take the yarn, wrap it over my hook, and pull it through the loop and pull tight. It gives it a knot and it holds it down. Now we're going to do it to the other side. Here's my marker stitch. I'm going to count back 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put my hook right into that stitch. Take my yarn, wrap it over my hook, pull it through, wrap the yarn over my hook, and pull through the loop. Chain up 1. Okay, so I always lay down my straggler right over the whole project itself, so I can crochet right over it, just like this one. As you can see, don't see no string, so it gives you less sewing. Okay, so then we're going to go across and we're single crocheting up to 12, counting this one as the first one. We can take our crochet marker out at this point. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Turn your work around. We're going to put the yarn behind our hook, skip the first stitch, move to the second stitch, single crochet, and we're going to single crochet all the way across. We're doing the same thing we did on the other side to make the ear flaps. You don't necessarily have to put ear flaps if you don't want to. You can just single crochet all the way across to make a border for the bottom here in a different color if you like. Turn your work around, skip the first one, move to the second one, single crochet, and we're going to single crochet all the way across. We're just going to repeat the process all the way through until we get to the very end where we have 3 single crochets on the top. Turn your work around, skip the first stitch, move to the second one, and single crochet across. Turn your work around, skip the first one, move to the second one, and single crochet all the way across. Turn your work around, and I'm getting kind of short here with the yarn here, so I might attach some more on here. Let's see here. Skip the first one, move to the second one, single crochet all the way across. Turn your work around, and I'm going to add some more yarn to my thing here because I'm running low. Okay, skip the first one, move to the second one, and single crochet all the way across. Turn your work around, and this is not bothering me because I'm just going to crochet right through it with my little tails if that ever happens to you. Skip the first one, move to the second one, and single crochet all the way across. And as you can see, I'm putting my little tails into the beanie itself and crocheting right over them. Turn your work around and single crochet in the second stitch, and this is your last round. Fasten off. Wrap the yarn over your hook and pull all the way through and pull tight. Now that's done, we're going to do the border. You're going to grab the blue yarn. Let me get the very end of this. Okay, here we go. And what we're going to do is you grab any corner. So here's a corner right here where the ear flap and the beanie's at. And we're going to go right into that corner, put your hook right through, pull the yarn right through, and chain up one. Now we're going to single crochet all the way around. Or actually, let's do a half double crochet all the way around. It gives it a thicker look, and it just makes it much better. So you're going to wrap the yarn over your hook like I did here. We're going to go into the next stitch, put your hook through, pull through, wrap the yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. I'm going to show you again. Wrap the yarn over your hook, go into the stitch, wrap the yarn over your hook again, pull it through. You're going to have 3 on your hook. You're going to wrap the yarn over your hook and pull through all 3 of those. Just like so. Wrap the yarn over your hook, go into the stitch, pull the yarn through, wrap the yarn over, and pull through all 3. Let's do that all the way around till we get to the next ear flap. Half double crochet all the way around. And I'm laying down my loose stragglers so I don't have to sew them in. I love doing that. They actually just sew themselves in pretty much when you do that. It's kind of difficult at first, but for beginners. But once you get the hang of it, it's simple as pie. We're just half double crocheting to the other side of the ear flap. Okay, now we get to the other side of the ear flap, we're going to work all the way up. When we're working up, we're working in each row. Our rows are right here, as you can see. There's one row here, there's another row. In between this little spot right here, up above it is the second row. Then you're going to go underneath that. So what I like to do is I like to go into these holes. See these little holes right here? And you can see them all the way across. That's what I like to go through. So I'm going to half double crochet on each of those rows all the way to the top of this ear flap. In each row. You're pretty much crocheting in between each row, but it's counted as one row. It's kind of difficult to tell you, but we're going to single crochet all the way up this ear flap just like so. Now we get to the top, you got your 3 stitches. You're going to half double crochet in each one of those stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to half double crochet along the side of the other side of the ear flap. So we're going to wrap the yarn over a hook and go into each of those little holes that I told you about in between each row. And there's 8 rows total till you get to the very end. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all the way at the base. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we are just half double crocheting all the way down those rows. Now we're going to half double crochet all the way across the other side of the beanie to the other ear flap. And this is great for anything because we are coming out with the other movie, Despicable 2, and to make these, the kids love them. I love that movie. It just cracks me up. So this little character would be a great thing to give to a kid as a Christmas birthday present or anything. Or just to wear. Fashionable. Now we're at the other side of the ear flap. We're going to go all the way up the ear flap just like we did here, half double crocheting. This is the base, so it's going to be 8 half double crochets all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, I think I went lower than that base, so it's actually 8 because I think I went under, as you can see here, so this is the 8. So we're going to half double crochet in the next 3. And we're going to crochet all the way back down. And it should be 8 on the other side. It's just that I think here we go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and one more, 8, and then we're going to slip stitch. So now that we got to the other end, we're going to slip stitch on the very, very top of our chain 1, and we're going to wrap the yarn over our hook, pull all the way through all 3 loops, fasten off from here, wrap the yarn over your hook, and pull all the way through that loop. Pull tight, give it a nice good tug, it will lock it and tie it like in a knot. Then you're going to get your tamper's needle, thread it, the blue yarn, and just sewing that in. What I like to do when I'm sewing it in, I go across, and then I come right back, and it just gives it like a little lock it in place type of thing. And then come right back. And then I just cut that loose end off. If I see any loose ends, I cut those off as well. Anything like peeking through like this one right here, just cut it, like trim it like if you're giving it a haircut, and it hides right through. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so now that our beanie is complete, make sure you sew in your loose end from the top. I've already gone ahead and done mine. Let's lay it down nice and flat, ear flap to ear flap, and lay this as completely flat down as possible. This is how we determine where our center point is for the eye and everything. So let's get started. We are going to be needing the white inside the eye, which I forgot to tell you in the beginning, so just to make that clear. I had it here, but I didn't grab it. We're going to start with black. And what we're going to do is we're going to make an eye. I'm going to wrap the yarn over our fingers twice. I tuck it from behind, bring it over, put my hook through, release it right off my hook like so. And I'm going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to double crochet into our last stitch. This is our last stitch right at the very end here, which is at the end of the tail. It's our first stitch pretty much that we did. And we're going to wrap the yarn over our hook and go into that stitch. Wrap the yarn over your hook again, pull through, wrap the yarn over, pull through 2, wrap the yarn over, and pull through 2. That's a double crochet. We're going to do that 12 times. So this is counted as 1 or chain 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's all in the same stitch. As you can see here, you're going to pull tight on this strand here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more, 12. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull on the loose string and it brings everything together. Then you're going to slip stitch on the top of your chain 4. And that's going to be the center of the eye. Now we're going to fasten off from here and change color. So cut your yarn. I'm going to move this black to the side here. And I'm going to slip stitch that right through there. So it's locked into place. And the center here, I'm going to sew it in so it doesn't loosen up on me while I'm sewing the eye, crocheting the eye. So thread your needle. And what I like to do is I like to go around and then back again. So I'm going around the eye itself, right in the center of the stitches. There we go. And then I'm going to come back again. It locks it in place. Cut my loose end off. And now I'm going to grab the brown. The brown I have here is very, very thin compared to this yarn, but I'm going to double it up and make it thicker so it will be the same type of strand as the War's Weight yarn I'm using right here. And this was Red Heart, Red Heart, the soft yarn. I think it's Love. It's very, very soft, and I love that yarn. It's called Love or something like that. And the rest of it's just Super Saver yarn. I'm just using different kinds of yarns, just mixing them up here. This is the colors that I have, and it doesn't really matter what kind of yarn you have, as long as it still has the same thickness as all the other ones, like I'm doing here. I doubled up. I got 2 strands here. So if you ever have that problem where you have very thin yarn and you want to use it up and use that color, you can double it up and make it thicker to make your project. So what we're going to do here is, here's your slip stitch where your tail is at. You're going to go back 2 stitches. 1, 2. You're going to go right into that stitch, attach your brown yarn to it. We're going to wrap the yarn over our hook and chain up 2. 1, 2. We are going to double crochet into that same stitch as we put the chain in, right back in that same stitch again, and put a double crochet. And now we're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch around. This is going to make 24 stitches total. So we're going to wrap the yarn over a hook, go into our next stitch over, 1 double crochet, back into that same stitch again, and 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. 2 double crochets in each of the stitches. Okay, I got my last one in. We're going to slip stitch on the top of our chain 2. So you're going to just go into that chain 2 on the very, very top here, slip stitch, and we're going to fasten off. Pull the yarn all the way through and pull tight. Okay, so now we have the center of the eye, the brown part. Now we got to do the white. So you're going to get your white yarn here. And again, we're going to go back 2 stitches from the slip stitch. So 1, 2, go into the second one. Attach your white yarn to your hook, pull it through, and chain up 2. 1, 2. We're going to double crochet into that same stitch as the chain 2, making it 2 stitches, 2 in the same. See that? Now we're going to move along to the next stitch over, put 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and I'm getting tangled up here, so I'm going to move my yarn over to the other side of the table here. Okay, so the next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochets. So you wrap the yarn over our hook, move to the next stitch, put 2 double crochets into the same stitch. The next stitch will be 1 double crochet. And we're doing a pattern, as you can see here, 2, 1, 2, 1. And we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So we already put 1 double crochet, so we're going to put 2 in the next stitch. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next. Two double crochets in the next. One double crochet. And just repeat that same pattern all the way around till you get back to the beginning. Okay, so I'm back at the beginning. I'm going to slip stitch on the top of my first chain 2. And I'm going to chain up 1. And now I'm going to half double crochet all the way around. So you're going to wrap the yarn over your hook, go into the stitch, pull through, wrap the yarn over your hook and pull through all 3. Wrap the yarn over your hook, go into the stitch, pull the yarn through, you got 3 on your hook, wrap the yarn over, pull through all 3. And we're going to half double crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. Okay, we're getting to the end here. We got one more. Slip stitch on the top of your chain 1. Pull the yarn all the way through. Fasten off. And pull it all the way through and pull tight. Get your needle, sew when you're in. Okay, I'm going to cut my loose ends off. And I know I have a few in here that need to be cut. There we go. And I got one more right here. Okay. So now that I cut all my loose ends off and sewed the rest of them in, this is the eye. As you can see here, he is coming out really, really well. Now we need to make the goggle. To do that, we're going to start with the gray and go around the perimeter here, and it's going to bring it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the yarn here, and wherever you slip stitch at, if you can see it, which I can, we're going to go back 2, put your hook right through, attach the gray yarn, wrap the yarn over your hook, pull through, and chain up 2. We're going to double crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. So you're going to wrap the yarn over your hook, go into stitch, pull through, wrap the yarn over your hook, pull through 2, wrap the yarn over your hook, and pull through 2. That's a double crochet. We're going to double crochet all the way around. When you get to the slip stitch, it might be a little bit tough to get in there because you sewed it in. And we're going to double crochet all the way around. One double crochet in each of the stitches. And this gray's got this little sparkling stuff in there. It's the lightest gray I have, and I thought the little sparkling stuff would be cute, you know, give it that little metal look. So I think this is Branyette yarn, actually. The brand of it. And it's like a baby yarn. It's very soft. So very cute. I love using this for beanies and for booties. They see the sparkles and customers just adore it. Okay, so I got a little knot going on here. Let me loosen this up and get that knot out of there. Looks like I got a knot, so I'm going to pull tight and just crochet it right through so I don't have to mess with it. There we go. It's in it goes. It's gone. Okay, I'm at the very end here. I'm going to slip stitch on the top of my chain 2, and we're going to fasten off. Pull it all the way through. Pull tight, and get your needle again and sew in your ends. Okay, once the end is sewed in, this is our eye. Yes, it's flipped up a little bit, but that's what I want. I'm going to add some little cushion into the bottom here, and this is going to lift up just like so, and with the rim around it, giving that 3D effect too. And that's what I want. I love the 3D effect, where everything looks like it's popping right at you. So now, our character is coming out really well. Now what we have to do is make the band that goes around to hold his little goggle, his little glass, whatever it is, his little goggles up. To do that, we need the black yarn. And depending on how many stitches you have right here, we are going to do along this edging here. So pretty much what we're going to need is about maybe, I say 16. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When we count that again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Yes, 60 stitches. So what we're going to do is make a slip knot. Tuck it over there behind your fingers, put your hook right through, and release off. You guys do it a different way. That would be my guess, whichever way is comfortable for you. Slip knots are not easy to, they come in different ways. And we are going to chain up 62. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, and 62. Okay. So now that we have our 62 chains, we're going to half double crochet into the third stitch from the hook. So you wrap your yarn over your hook, go into the third stitch from the hook, the third chain actually, wrap the yarn over and pull through all 3, half double crochet. Now we're going to half double crochet in each of the chains all the way across for a total of 60 half double crochets. Okay, my last chain here. Now what I'm going to do is, without curling this, you want to have it nice and straight, fold it in half. See that? Now what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch on the very top of your first chain right there. Where you did your first half double crochet, you're going to slip stitch right in there. And it's like making a headband, pretty much. Now we're going to chain up one and half double crochet in each of the stitches all the way across again. I skipped a stitch. Let me see that again. There we go. So now we're going to half double crochet in each of the stitches all the way around till we get back to the beginning again. Okay, I want you guys to see this. I had a member on my fan page, on my group, Havoc Mayhem Creations, and they were asking me, they showed a picture of like, darn, when this happens to you. Yes, when you buy yarn, sometimes it's cut off and they tie it together like this. And she's like, what should I do? Pretty much, I just crochet right through. What I do is I hold the loose ends while I'm half double crocheting, and I am going to go into the stitch and lay those loose ends right on top of my stitches. See that? And now I'm just going to crochet them right in. And it looks like the nothing was there before. No knots, nothing. And that's pretty much what I do for that. So if that ever happens to you, you know exactly what to do. See that? It's disappeared completely, front and back. So, it's a little trick, and it's easy to do. Just lay it right on top of your stitches, go underneath your stitch, and there you go. You're crocheting it right through. Look at, I have another one. It doesn't stop me. Now I'm just half double crocheting, still across, laying down my loose stragglers. Okay, that was my last one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch on the top of our first chain one and pull it through. And I think this is thick enough for me. If you want to go thicker, that's all up to you, but I love the length of this. If you want to go again around and making it thicker, you can. I'm going to fasten off here and pull it right through. And I'm going to take my needle, and right here where we have this little gap coming through, I'm going to thread it and sew it in and close that gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in this top of the stitches here, pull it through. That brings it together. Then I'm going to go right up to the other side, tie these two together here, and double knot it. Now I'm going to fasten off here, just cut off the loose ends and any other loose ends because I had a lot of tails. I'm just going to snip them off, whatever I see. And that's all I see. See that? Look it. And I had like 4 or 5 of them in here. That was a lot. It happens to us. Okay, so now that we have it, this part that we sewed in, this is going to be right underneath the eye. You want to have that underneath the eye so you got a nice smooth finish all the way around. And here's another loose end that I did not catch. Okay, so your part that you sewed in, that's going to be right underneath the eye. So you want to make sure that's right underneath the eye. We're going to take this and just like a headband, put right over our little guy here, our beanie. And you want to adjust this. You want to make sure you have enough for the mouth and everything. Put your eye right on there. There you go. We're not going to sew it on yet. We're just seeing how it's going to fit. We're going to add a little mouth with a little tongue sticking out. To do that, we're going to use a chain. We're going to chain up pretty much, I say, I want this on the very, very top up here somewhat. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to chain up 12. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a slip knot, wrap the yarn over your hook, pull it over, bring it through, put your hook through, release, and chain up 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let me see here. We're going to do the same technique as I showed you guys on doing lettering on a scarf. And that's going to be our little mouth here, as you can see. It's going to be a little sideways little mouth. And we're going to have a little grin here. So I'm going to fasten this off. We're going to leave a kind of a long tail that will sew this all the way through and bring it back to the other end. So I'm going to fasten off from right here. And I'm just going to pull the yarn all the way through. Just like so. And that's where the mouth's going to be at. Now I'm going to chain up 6. Make a slip knot. Put my hook through. Chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to leave it kind of a tail to sew it in as well. And pull it all the way through. And this is going on the very top here to give it that little smirk, like the cheeks. See that? So now that our little mouth is done, I'm going to put the black yarn to the side here, and we're going to make a little tongue. Make a slip knot. And what we're going to do here is we are going to make like a little half circle. So you're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, actually chain up 4 and 4. In the first chain here, I like to pull it out so you guys can give a better look. So that first chain that we have here, we're going to double crochet in there 12 times. 1, 2, just like the center of our eye. That's counted as 3 actually, so 1, 2, 3, because we're counting the chain 3 as 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more, 12. Okay, instead of joining, we're not going to join here. We're going to slip stitch and fasten off. Take our needle here from the beginning of the center here, the center thread, and we're going to sew in our loose end here so it doesn't unravel. So I like to go around the stitches and back again. My tail's not long enough to go back, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it all the way through to the end of this little part here and tie it off. If I can get it in there. If I had a shorter needle, I could probably do it. Ah, I made it through. Okay. So I'm going to tie these two ends together and that will lock it in place so it doesn't unravel on me. Okay. So this is going to be our little tongue here. As you can see, it formed. We're going to put that right there. See that? Look at how cute he is. Our character's coming out so cute. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look here on how we're going to put this. As you can see, I'm just lining it up, making sure everything is where I want it to be, making sure my little headband here is even all the way through. And I'm going to take all the stuff off. This is where my headband's going to be at. And if you want, you can take a marker and take it and go on the top of the stitches of the beanie and the headband pretty much and lock it in place so you know it's not going to unravel, and you're going to stay within that line, that row of the beanie. We're going to get some string here long enough to go all the way around the headband, so make sure it's going to be a long string, and we're going to sew this headband on. You want to thread it. And what I like to do is I like to start from that beginning point so I can take the marker out and I know it's going to stay there. So I'm going to go right into the top of the stitches here. As you can see, I went right on the top and the very end of our stitches here. And I'm just going to start from there. And as you can see, I'm leaving a tail so I can sew it in afterwards. And I'm just going to go along the whole row here and sewing this on. I want to keep my tail out of the way. So what I like to do is I like to hold it on with my thumb until I get a little bit higher up. And I can take it all off. Okay, so now I'm going to take my marker out because I'm not going to need it anymore. Everything's sewed on. But if you still need it, go ahead and be my guest and keep it on there. And I'm just going to sew along the edging here, making sure I am exactly the same row. same stitches, everything, and start sewing this on. Coming along the side here, keeping it still lined up with everything, making sure I'm getting that same stitch, because if you don't, it'll come out sideways, cricket, everything. You want to make sure you're in that same row, same stitch all the way through. Okay, so we're sewing it across, making sure it's all lined up with the same stitches, same row, everything. And I'm just continuing on the back side. And when I'm sewing it in, I'm not going all the way into the beanie. I'm just grabbing the stitch right on top. That way you don't have it all coming through from the inside. It's nice and clean. Okay, I'm coming along the side here now. Making sure I stay in the top stitches. Coming in the front now. Still staying within my top stitches here. Okay, so now I'm at the very end here. I'm going to tie these two strands together and sew them in. And then I'm going to start sewing in the top part the same way I did with the bottom part, working along the same row and everything, just sewing it in. Cut the rest of this off. So now I need another piece of string because this is not going to be long enough. So I'm going to get some more. Make sure it's long enough to go all the way around. And what I'm going to do is lay this flat as possible and start from the top here, wherever I feel like it's like right at the edge here. And this looks really good right there. And now I'm going to start sewing this part in. And I'm going to do this off the camera and come with mine finished, done, to make this video a little bit shorter. And I'm just going to work along the whole top of my row here and sewing this in and coming around to the top and doing the same thing. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to do the eye right now, okay? Okay, so I sewed it all on. It's completely sewed on. It's not going to come off or nothing like that. But I love that 3D effect, like it's actually on his head. Now what we're going to do is sew on this eye. When we're sewing on the eye, we're going to add stuffing inside to give it that little flip up. Now you can use polyester fill, or what I like to do, I like to recycle my loose ends. And I got like a big old like container here just filled with loose ends here. And I'm just going to put that underneath here. Just like so. But I'm not going to do that right away. What I want to do is I want to sew in half of this and leave a little opening and stuff it in first. That way I can get a good lift. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get my white yarn and get a long strand that's going to go around the whole entire eye. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use gray. That way it goes with the whole side. So I want enough to go around the whole entire eye. Thread my needle. And you're going to adjust this where you want it in the center of this headband here. So what I like to do is like place it there, get a crochet marker, and pin it down. That way it won't come up. See that? I pinned it down. So that is pinned down. It's not going to go anywhere. And that looks kind of centered to me. Actually, I think I need to move it over just a little tad bit. There we go. That looks better. And I'm centering it between these two right here of the ear flaps, making sure it's even all the way across. You gotta keep on adjusting it, just making sure. That looks even enough to me. So now I'm going to start sewing it on. Now this is the tricky one. And I'm going to show you the best way I can. We're going to start by crocheting, sewing it onto the black first. So you want to hold on to the side. And what we're going to do is you're going to grab the very last of the gray here, like in between the white. You see this white right here? You're actually going to grab the whole of the white. So you want to make sure you're lined up. Grab the closest stitch possible to the white and sew on with the top stitch. Now I'm going to continue going all the way around, grabbing the closest stitch possible to the whiteness, and I'm only grabbing that white part. I'm not, it's like right underneath the gray, and that's what I want to get. Now you're going to go up the rows, everything like that. You're going to just build this up, going around. Sew it as close as you can as possible. And if you make a mistake, unravel it, uncut it out, or whatever you have to do, and redo it. Yes, it's more work, but we all make mistakes. I've done it several times, trust me. It's how we learn. So here we go. And I'm just grabbing the closest one that's closest to the top here and just sewing this on. It's right underneath the white. You want to grab that white right there, not the gray. It's like right in between there. Unless you staggered your stitches, then you just want to go right underneath the gray. So this thing is going to be lifted up just like so, but we're going to have the eye in there too, stuffed in, so it's going to even look more 3D effect. And one more up here so it doesn't fall down. Okay, now I'm going to work along the sides. Now we're not completely sewing all the way around. We are going to leave an opening so we can add the stuffing. So make sure you do not sew it all the way around. Okay, so now I already came around and everything. I want to see how it's looking, and it looks really good. So that's a good opening for me right there. I could close it up some more, which I probably will. Let me see here. one more, and then I'm going to leave it open like that. And I'm going to add my stuffing. You can take the marker out, and what I have here is all these loose ends, and I just shove them in there. Moving them around, getting all the corners, everything. I don't want it too bulging high, just a little bit. Give it that look. It's the best way to recycle your yarn. That looks good to me. I think I'm going to keep it right there. And what I'm doing is just moving the yarn around. And now I'm just going to sew this loose end in. Sew the rest of it up and close it. So I'm at the very end here. I'm going to get my loose end that I have here. I'm going to tie these two together. And sew in the ends. Cut the rest of the ends off. Lay this flat again. Let's see what we got here. Okay. There's our eye. Isn't that cute? Look at how that's coming out. So adorable. Now we need to add our mouth. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the long strand, which is 12 chain first. Thread that loose end, the very end of it. And we're going to put this sideways, like in a curve, like a little smiley face, right on the side of this. So you want to hold it down, make sure your curve is there, and work from the first chain from the end here and go in and out like that. Pull it snug, in and out. And you're working all the way to the end of the chain. Get to the end of the chain, go all the way inside the beanie, pull it through. Same thing with the other loose strand. Thread it, feed it right through at the very end, just like so. And you tie these two together, and you're done with that. I'm going to do one more just to be safe. Cut that loose end off. Now we're going to get the chain 6, thread it. This is giving that little effect of a cheekbone, little smirk. We're going to put this on the side here. Adjust it the way you want to. Start from one end and end up at the other. We're going in and out. You want to grab that chain 2. Make sure you grab the chain 12 when you're doing this. There we go. Okay, and get to the end. Same thing, you're going to feed it right through at the very tip. Don't want to poke myself. I do that a lot. Very end again. Feed it through. Now you want to tie the 2 ends together. Going one more just to be safe. I'm going to cut my loose ends off. And these are loose ends I saved for my stuffing, so if you ever want to recycle yarn, you can always do that. Okay, now for our tongue. Thread it, the long end. There we go. I'm going to leave that tail out because I'm going to use it to tie it up together. And I want this to be hanging just a little bit off the smurf here. So I'm going to start by going in the yellow first and go all the way around. And you're going into the stitches. I go on the top of the beanie, the first stitch I see on the top that's closest to that stitch of the red. I'm just sewing this on. Okay, so now I got that part done. We're going to work along the side of the chain 12 and the tongue like this. See how that is? And I am just going to go in through the stitches. Get one more at that very end there. Then you're going to tie your 2 ends together. That's why I said I want to leave it there, so give it more of a lockdown and it won't loosen up later. Okay, so now that we got our face on and we sewed in our ends and everything, we're going to give this guy some hair. And the hair is very, very simple to do. You're going to cut off a little piece of yarn about, say, 5 inches. You can go 4 inches. And that's it, pretty much. You're going to fold this in half. And just like you do tassels, you're just going to go on the top of here and just pick a little spot on the very, very top. It doesn't matter where it's at. And go right into that little loop that it's folded from. Attach that to your hook. Pull it through. And then what you're going to do is feed these 2 little ends into that loop and pull tight. and that's it. If the hair is too long, you can always trim it with scissors, and you just add about maybe say 5, 6, 10, as many hairs you want to give this character. And it's so cute when you add the hair, because this little guy, it just comes out so adorable, everything. And you just add it anywhere, because he's like kind of bald, but he has like a little bit of hair and everything. So cute, so cute. And you just continue on. I already got 2 in there. Put one up here. And all you do is like just trim it if it's too long or too anything. Just like a haircut. Just trim it off. And there he is. So darn adorable. You can add tassels to the end if you like. I might just keep it just like this instead of adding tassels, or actually add some blue tassels or something. But there's our character, all finished and ready to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment and subscribe below. And check out my Facebook fan page and my group page. You can find the links on my channel to both those places. Even if you're looking for patterns for certain ones that I have in tutorials, I have patterns in my group. So until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.